Okay, folks, this is the beginning of the year of the Antichrist videos. All right, 2023 is the year of the Antichrist. And in this video, I'm going to only show you a small portion of what I'm going to be showing in the near future. Okay, this is just a little bit of info to make you understand how important 2023 is. Okay, for the new people who are watching this video, let me just show this real quick. So I have two predictions, okay? And I've had these same exact predictions for many years, okay? I've never changed the dates or what's going to happen. ELVIS somehow manifests after a spectacular event on June 11th in Seattle, okay? And the other prediction is that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio, and he survives the head wound and comes back 4 days later on 8/8 or something to that extent. But for sure he gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. All right, so those are the two predictions. And this video, like I said, is mainly to prove to you that 2023 is the year that all of this is going to happen. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that I could show you many 42 connections to this puzzle, to this Elvis puzzle. But all I'm going to show you right now is that Elvis died at the age, supposedly died at the age of 42. And Washington State is the 42nd state. Okay? And, Seattle is going to be the ground zero of this June 11th event. And Seattle, Washington's initials, SW equals 42. Even Washington State is the initials WS equals 42. But anyway, so the 42 is connected to Elvis because he supposedly died at the age of 42. And to the mathematicians, the prime numbers are super important. And the 42nd prime number is 181. And know this, that Elvis, he was born on 1/8, and there was two of them born on that day. His identical twin supposedly died at birth, okay? So when you see it says 181, there's like basically two of them, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, 42nd prime number is 181. I want to make sure I said that right, because Elvis was born on January 8th, 1/8. That's why I'm saying that. Anyway, so the 42nd prime number is 181. So why is this important, the 42nd prime number? Besides Elvis's age being 42 and Washington being the 42nd state. Because if you were to take these two numbers and add them up, 42 plus 181, it equals 223. You see? And next year is 2023. Okay, because the zero doesn't count, so it'll be 223. Do you get it? Now, before I show you why 2023 is the year of the Antichrist, let me just show you this real quick. So the words the equals 33, anti equals 44, and Christ equals 77. So if you add that up, it's 154. So the word the Antichrist equals 154, okay? Basically, if you get a second Christ, because there's only one Christ, and that's Jesus. So if you get two Christs, you get 154. 77 plus 77 is 154. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the anti equals 77, and then Christ equals 77. That's why it's 154. The Antichrist. And here it is, the Antichrist on the gematria calculator. And I'm going to show you why this is so important. So the Antichrist equals 154, and backwards it equals 197 in reverse gematria. And I told you it's all about the circles, so it's forward and backward. You understand? So 154 and 197 for the Antichrist. So here's why 2023 is so important. So the 20th prime number is 71. The 23rd prime number is 83. And what does that equal? These two, equations, okay? So you get 43 for 20 and 23. Forget about that right now. But see, the prime numbers, 71 and 83 for 20 and 23 equals 154, which is the number of the Antichrist. So 2023 is the year of the Antichrist. And I'll show you how rare it is, because the last time a number equaled 154 when it comes to the year, the last time you had a year that equaled 154 was back in 1626. And it just so happens that's the same year that the St. Peter's Basilica was opened. That Vatican thing. Anyway, look at this. It was open on the 322nd day of the year, 1118. But forget about that. It's the year that I'm talking about, 1626. Because 26 is the 101st prime number, and 16 is the 53rd. So 53 plus 101 equals 154. Okay? And notice it's 16 plus 26. That equals 42. I showed you how important 42 is. 42 plus 154 is 196. But I'm going to show you why it's not as important as this year, 2023. So anyway, like I said, 2023, these are the prime numbers for 20 and 23. It equals 151, which is the Antichrist number. Okay? And I told you the word the Antichrist equals 154 forwards and 197 backwards. So let's see what would happen if we added the 43 to the 154, because I told you the prime numbers equal 154 for 2023, and 20 plus 23 is 43. So what happens when you add 43 plus 154? You get 197. So 154 becomes 197 when you add that. 154, 197. And I told you the Antichrist forward is 154. Backwards, it's 197. There you go. The year of the Antichrist right there. You see that? So like I said, 2023, next year is the year of the Antichrist. This is what the prime numbers equals, 71 and 83 for 2023. And it's a total of 154. You take 20 plus 23, 43 plus 154, you get the 197. And the Antichrist equaled 154 plus 197. 154 forwards, 197 backwards. And why is this important? Because I told you that Elvis is the Antichrist, Trump is the backup. So look at this 154, and I'm talking about the 197. Because look, from Elvis's birthday, the day he's born on January 8th, if you go forward to June 11th, it's 154 days. That's if you don't include that date, but up to that date. And if you include that date, it'll become 155. And I'll show you why that's important in a moment. But 154 days, that's the Antichrist number. Okay? And look, the devil is in the details. Look, it's even got the 42 connection. 42% of how many days is in between. 42. That's Elvis's death age, and Washington State is the 42nd state. And even the 19 is important. I told you that's a crown. That's why they were calling it Corona. Corona 19, Crown 19. That's what Corona means in Spanish. So like I said, the 154 is the Antichrist number, and backwards it's 197. And that's why for 2023's prime numbers, 154, it's 154, and then it ends with 197 when you add the 43, which is 20 plus 23. So 154, I just showed you the connections, because from Elvis's birthday to 6/11 was 154 days. And how do we get the 197? And the 45th prime number is 197. I don't know if you could see that, but anyway, 45th prime number is 197. And you know Trump is the 45th president, right? And from the day Elvis supposedly died, August 16th, 1977, to next year, June 11th, it's 45 years still. Because Elvis has been dead now for 45 years, starting from this year, August 16th, to next year, August 16th. From 2022 to 2023. That's why this year was so important, and next year is so important. Because it's the 45 years again. Are you getting it? So 154 is the Antichrist number. 2023's prime numbers equal 154. Then you add 20 plus 23 to the numbers. You get 154 plus the 43 is 197. The 197 is the 45th prime. Elvis has been dead for 45 years. Trump is the 45th president. Do you get it? And I told you the Antichrist equals 154 and backwards 197. So like I said, Elvis has been dead from August 16, 2022, 45 years, all the way up until next year, August 16, 2023. He's still going to be 45 until that day. Then it becomes 46. So into 2023. And my two predictions land in between the 45 years because it's August 4th through August 8th, the Trump event, and June 11th for the Seattle event. So he'll be 45 years in between that time. And look, if you take out the zero, because I told you it means nothing, 2022, 2023, it's 445. And you know Trump, he was the 44, 45 president. Okay, because he's the 44th person to become president, but he's the 45th actual president to take office. And if you just take out, if you just use the 22 and 23 and forget about the 20s, it's 45. 22 plus 23 is 45, because the 45 that's what's so important to Elvis. Okay, now pay attention carefully. So the reason that the next 9/11 has to happen on 6/11 is because, not only because it's the Antichrist number of 154 between Elvis's birthday and June 11th, because Elvis is the Antichrist, and I told you Trump is his devil twin. He was the replacement twin for Elvis's identical twin that died at birth. Anyway, so it's 154 days if you don't add that day. See, it says not including that day. But up to that day, it's 154. So if you add that day, so now I added the day, including, okay? And now it's 155. So it's either 154 or 155. And now the equation I'm about to show you is the only only date that will add up to this equation throughout the whole year. Is the number 154, 155. Watch what I'm going to show you. So when you put 154, you write it, you write the number into letters, the number 154, 154, 155. If you write these two into the gematria calculator, look what you get. 450. So it's the 45 with a crown. Okay? And you get 216. What is the 216? That's August 4th, the 216th day of the year. So this is June 11th from Elvis's birthday, 154 to 155 days. And you get the 45. Elvis has been dead for 45 years. Trump is the 45th president. You get a crown. 45 with the 0 is a crown. I told you that in all my videos. The O is a crown. And the 216 is August 4th, which is Obama's birthday, the day Trump gets his head wound, the 45th president. Elvis has been dead 45 years. You get a crown. 216. And look what it adds up to. 666. Do you understand? Okay? And also June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. It's the same numbers as August 4th, which is the 216th day of the year. Okay? And Now watch what happens when you add Elvis Aaron Presley to these two. So now I put Elvis Aaron Presley with the 154, 155, which is how many days is in between Elvis's birthday and June 11th. There's 154, 155 days. You add, and what do you get? 666. You see what I'm saying? Okay? Elvis is the Antichrist. Okay? I mean, how many times do I have to tell you? And if you just put Elvis Aaron Presley and 154, because 154 is the number of the Antichrist, if you just put those two together, you'll get 450. Okay? 445 with a crown. And Elvis has been dead 45 years. And Trump is the 45th president. Okay? Do you understand how important this is? And just to show you how important the 155 is, because, I told you from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is either 154 or 155. And the 154 is the Antichrist number, and the 155 equals 216, which is August 4th. And Elvis was born on 108, and there was twins, right? So you have two of them, 108 and 108 equals 216. Do you understand? Okay? Anyway, and by the way, 155 is the first number in gematria to equal 216. Okay? And that's why Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, equals 216. Okay? And look, you have the 8-1. Elvis was born on 1-8. And in the UK, they say the date's backwards, 8-1, I'm just trying to show you all the connections. Anyway, like I said, if you add the Antichrist number to Elvis Aaron Presley, it's 450, the 45 with a crown. That's the whole point of this. Because Elvis has been dead for 45 years and Trump is the 45th president. And look at this. From Elvis's birthday, if you go forward 450 days, it lands on 4-2. Which happens to be, what my mother's birthday was. But anyway, 4-2, which is the 42. Get it? Because Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. And look, it's 450 days. Not including that day, but up to that day. And look, 1 year, 2 months, 25 days. Look at that. It's 12/25. That's Christmas Day. You see that? 12/25. Okay, folks, I have a ton of more information, but I'm not going to show it all in one video. I told you it's going to be many, many videos, all this information. So, the next 9/11, I told you, is going to be in Seattle, okay, on 6/11. And how does 9/11 and 6/11 connect? So remember, Elvis's identical twin died at birth, okay? So from the day him and his identical twin were born, Elvis, from that exact day to the exact day that this twin towers fell is 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. So you have the 8-4 connection, because I told you Trump's going to get his head won on 8-4, and you have the 66 years. But forget about the 8-4 right now. It's just the 66 years you want to look at. So Elvis was 66 years old the day that the Twin Towers fell. And I told you the word twin equals 66. Okay? But again, forget about the twin equaling 66. It's 66 years from the day Elvis and his twin were born to the day the Twin Towers fell. And now, from the day Elvis and his twin were born to 6/11, which is the upside down 9/11, in 2023, next year, from Elvis's birthday to the day the Seattle gets struck next year. Okay, first of all, look at this. You got the 322. Okay, the 3. And look, I'll explain all these numbers in a future video. Right now, all we want to do is concentrate on the years. So from Elvis's birth to June 11th is 88 years. So from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, and now from his birthday to June 11th next year, it's going to be 88 years. Okay? So did you get that? From Elvis's birthday to 9/11, it was 66 years. From Elvis's birthday to 6/11 in Seattle, it's 88 years. So 88, 66. So like I said, from Elvis's birthday, the day he's born, to 9/11, the day the Twin Towers fell, is 66 years. From the day Elvis was born to the day Seattle's going to be struck is 88 years. And what does that add up to? 66 plus 88, 154. The number of the Antichrist. Do you see it? Okay, and in the future videos, I'm going to show you all the connections with the 88. Right now, I'm just, going to stop here. But there's just one more thing I'm going to show you. Because, remember, this is all attached to Elvis's birthday. Okay? And it connects to the Antichrist. Like I said, everything connects to Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twin supposedly died. Okay? So Elvis' birthday, if you put it into the gematria calculator, look what it equals. It equals 154, 64 forward, 197, 80 backwards. These are all just totals. These are the four numbers that are important. 154, 64 forward, 197, 80 backwards for Elvis' birthday. And what equals the exact same as this? The Antichrist. You see? The Antichrist equals the exact same as Elvis' birthday. Okay, I've shown this information before, but I show so much information, you guys forget about all the incredible information here. Anyway, folks, I'll be talking about how Elvis turning 88 in 2023 is so important. All right? But if you didn't understand this video, watch it again. This is just the beginning, folks. The year of the Antichrist, 2023. And you know that Back to the Future was all about the 88, and that movie was, one of the characters was based on Trump, that Biff Tannen, who was the bad guy. Okay? And notice the license plate right there says August. You see that? August 8/8. I mean, that's when I told you Trump's gonna, Trump gets his head on 8/4, but he comes back on 8/8. Look at that. But anyway, Elvis turns 88 next year, and I told you I'm gonna do that video coming up. But anyway, Back to the Future was about the Trump, and it has Elvis connections too. And the writers of Back to the Future was some guy named Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. And I'm going to play something for you that this guy said in an interview. You're not going to believe what he said. I played this years ago. So here's Bob Gale right here, the Back to the Future writer, this dude. Now watch what he says in an interview. Not this interview, whatever this is, but just a picture. I don't know who this interview is even, but wait till you see what I show you. So like I said, Biff Tannen is based on Donald Trump, okay? The character in Back to the Future. And like I said, I don't know who this interviewer is, but this is Bob Gale, the Back to the Future writer. And I'm going to kind of cut it up so that way I don't get any copyright problem. But listen to what the interviewer asked him and what he says.
In part two, when Biff owns a casino and needs to put his name and his picture on everything, one of the inspirations for that was Mr. Trump.
So you heard it there that he said Biff Tannen was based on Trump, okay? Now, listen to what he says now. Oops.
Some fans believe that Back to the Future predicted the 9/11 attacks. Any truth to that, Bob?
Of course! Of course! We predicted everything. We predicted the...
So they were showing how the images, like the Twin Pines Mall image right there. It's got the numbers 116, which is the 611 backwards, and the 911 upside down. You see that? And it's a Twin Pines Mall. This was a scene from Back to the Future.
9/11 attacks. Any truth to that, Bob?
Of course. Of course. We predicted everything. We predicted everything. We predicted everything. We predicted the assassination of John F. Kennedy years after.
That's another one. That's another one that's here.
Yeah, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. No, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. We predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will.
Anyway, folks, this video alone should prove to you everything I'm saying is accurate. Okay, because I told you what you're seeing on this channel, all this information is being led by the Holy Spirit, and it's all going to manifest before your eyes. Anyway, like I said, next year, 2023, the year Elvis turns 88, is the year of the Antichrist. And then the coming videos, I'm going to explain to you the 88 and everything else that's connected to next year. All right, folks, end of video.
Yeah, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. No, we predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will. We predicted Elvis's death and his resurrection, which hasn't happened yet, but it will.
End of video.